It's new for 2020.
This is the MikeDJKelly Podcast.
Sounding snazzy.
This is the Mike Kelly Podcast.
Mike Kelly.
3, 2, 1, and we're off with another audio-packed adventure in the fun-filled, let's look on the bright side, shorter than short, shabby Mike DJ Kelly podcast show. Climb on board as we take a look at what's been going on in the news and on social media, with our slightly grim northern twist to it.
On this week's podcast,
Let's press on with a sunny, bright yellow coloured edition featuring competitions, radio, TV, hair, James Blunt, trees, New Zealand, smart errors, bookcases, Pope Francis, and a whole lot more.
this is the Shorter Than Short Mike Kelly Podcast.
And on Twitter, a user called Claire McShane says hairdressers and nail bars need to be allowed to open the day before the pubs do. Also, Bantam's Banter on Twitter said, sitting in my garden having a beer yesterday Thursday at 19:59 and started singing If You Hate Leeds United, Clap Your Hands, and the whole street and most of the country joined in. Final one for now from Twitter, Trish in lowercase says, my husband had a letter from the government today advising him that he's at risk from COVID-19 because of an underlying health condition. Personally, I'm pretty sure he's in a safe place since he's been dead nearly 4 years. Oh, go on then, one more. James Blunt said on Twitter, during the lockdown, while many other artists are doing mini concerts from their own homes, I thought I'd do you a favour and not do one. My son is having trouble getting a replacement key for his Skoda car. The main Skoda dealers are saying they're only doing work for key workers. Seems a bit ironic. Go on then, let's slip in one of many Skoda jokes. Why do Skodas have heated rear windows? To keep your hands warm when pushing them. Ha ha!
Is that true?
Yesterday I put a hard avocado in with the bananas to ripen it. Look today and I'd got it totally wrong. The bananas are now bright brown and the avocado is still rock hard.
This is the Shorter Than Short Mike Kelly Podcast.
If you want to get in touch with anything to do with the Shorter Than Short podcast show, please use either of the following to contact us, or if you want to send your own stories for the next episode, email cuttings or sound clips to email hello@mikedjkelly.co.uk or on Twitter @MikeKellyDisco. If you want to be alerted to future podcasts, give a wave to Mike DJ Kelly Podcast on Messenger or subscribe when you download the podcast. Nice touch from the New Zealand Prime Minister who made a speech to younger people saying that the Easter Bunny and the Tooth Fairy were key workers and would be working as normal. Also nice that Morrisons are giving their staff a £1,000 bonus for all the hard work they've been doing. On the 2nd of April, Channel 3 ITV went off air momentarily at 8 p.m. to tempt you to go outside to applause for key workers. Have to say that clapping on an evening might be new to most of you, but having spent many years living Headingley, it was a regular occurrence, and sometimes it was accompanied by a loud roar when Yorkshire or England scored.
This is the Mike Kelly Podcast.
At work, I have to look at lots of camera screens. One from time to time displays the words smart error instead of an image. I'm stuck on this one. What is a smart error? Is it different to one that just says error? Seems exactly the same as any other error message to me. The government is doing its best to dissuade us from going to the coast on hot days. Why not just say all beaches have had several tons of drawing pins buried in the sand and these will be removed at the end of the lockdown with high-powered magnets? Okay, competition time. Let's guess the 1990 number 2 hit that contained these lyrics. I've no excuse, I just want to use me. Take me and abuse me. I got no taboos, I'll make a trade with you. Do anything you want me to. The words again. I've no excuse, I just want you to use me. Take me and abuse me. I've got no taboos, I'll make a trade with you. Do anything you want me to. Name the song or the artiste.
On this week's podcast,
I've been puzzling over this for the last few days. Why does 8 hours at work seem such a long time and 8 hours in bed such a short time? I know I need more to occupy my time.
This is the Shorter Than Short Mike Kelly podcast.
Chris Choi, the ITV news presenter, said in a tribute to Sir Sterling Moss on Twitter, "Sir Sterling Moss was marvellous. Once drove me round Oliver's Mount, Scarborough, said he couldn't speed 'cause cops pulling in drivers would always say, 'Who do you think you are, Sterling Moss?'" Greg at Basecamp Beers says in a tweet, "Cooking from home and struggling to reproduce the flavours from your favourite restaurants? Try the following changes in the recipe. Triple the salt, quadruple the butter, use whipping cream in lieu of milk, season with salt, olive oil and drink 4 glasses of wine before serving."
Golly gosh.
Today's do-gooders are the treecouncil.org.uk. We believe in working together for the love of trees. The Tree Council brings everyone together with a shared mission to care for trees and our planet's future. We inspire and empower organisations, governments, communities and individuals with the knowledge and tools to create positive, lasting changes at a national and local level. Help them champion trees, whether that's by donating to support their work, becoming a volunteer, tree warden, or visiting a remarkable local tree. You can find out a whole lot more at treecouncil.org.uk. Talking of which, it's not so long ago that they were saying we don't have a magic money tree. Now it sounds like they've got a whole plantation full of them.
This is the Mike Kelly podcast.
Touched by Pope Francis finding out and contacting my personal email accounts. In his email he says how he's collecting money for the victims of coronavirus, and if I'm willing to help, God Almighty will double your blessings in your home, finances, business, companies and health-wise. Sounds like a bargain. How could I possibly refuse?
This is the Shorter Than Short Mike Kelly podcast.
So with hairdressers and barber shops closed, and depending on the length of the lockdown, what are we all going to look like? My own hair is now the longest I've had it in years, but with a few more weeks to go, what will we all look like? I saw a tweet from a newscaster on TV saying people were getting in touch because she looked unwell. Her response was due to self-distancing, and she has now to do her own makeup. So I'm guessing the same goes for hair. So when will we see a TV presenter sprouting long hair, or the signs of someone who's had their own haircut done? So far the only one standing out is Robert Peston.
Is that true?
Time for Guess the Celebrity with a birthday around this time of year. So here we go, an easy one. Born under the Taurus star sign on the 8th of May 1926. He is a naturalist, screenwriter, actor, biologist, television presenter, journalist, television director, film director, and archaeologist, presenter, autobiographer. I think that's enough. Who is he? If you want to get in touch with anything to do with the Shorter Than Short podcast show, please use either of the following to contact us: on email hello@MikeDJKelly.co.uk, or on Twitter @MikeKellyDisco. If you want to be alerted to future podcasts, give a wave to Mike DJ Kelly Podcast on Messenger, or subscribe when you download. Some strange adverts on TV at the moment. I think those cashing in on coronavirus are terrible, making out they're praising key workers but trying to build brand loyalty at the same time. The adverts for the Royal London funeral plans still go on. I find the one with 2 people sat in a park in the sunshine eating 99 ice creams on a park bench and discussing funeral plans bizarre. If I was sat on a park bench with company when it's allowed, I cannot see this ever being a line of conversation. There's also a very strange Argus advert on at the moment. I just don't get it at all. What we need are some good adverts like the ones in the 1990s when Hoover gave away flights to America with their vacuum cleaners. And talking adverts, is it still okay for car companies to have adverts that show cars driving on the right now we're out of Europe? Should we be seeing them driving on the left? Sorry, I take it we still are leaving Europe. Nobody's mentioned it for a few months. With the new imposed spare time on our hands, it gives us a chance to rethink, reevaluate what we do. Like, we've been eating breakfast at home. In future, will there be any need to pick up a £2 snack on the way to work? Will we need to go to pubs and restaurants as much much, or has eating at home become more enjoyable? Having said that, I do miss meeting up with the kids, family and friends.
On this week's podcast,
Use the spare time to check that the things you pay for each month are good value. Our pet insurance has just gone up, but we couldn't get it cheaper anywhere else. Checked other bills and found our own energy supplier could change our tariff, and that saved us £30 a month plus a £200 refund.
this is the Shorter Than Short Mike Kelly podcast.
With a bank holiday weekend and me on an early shift meant listening to the radio from 5 a.m, and I have to say that there does not appear to be much in the way of entertainment at that time. BBC Radio 2 seemed to be doing something called Kings and Queens of Pop, with links from music stars and music but no presenter, and the other day to have music clips from the Sounds app instead. BBC Radio Leeds seemed to be pumping out non-stop phone chat, which I think came via Radio 5 Live. Radio needs a kick up the arse, bring back some lively characters who want to be on the radio, and not celebrities or poor formats that just sound crap. And the news on TV and radio, so many questions not being asked of those in charge, not just in the UK, same in America and probably many other countries as well. Just because somebody says something does not mean it's true. As an example, I offer you this. Many years ago, a dance music station was opening in Manchester, and in part of the build-up blurb, they used the line, "Coming to Manchester, the dance capital of Europe," a line totally made up by the radio station's programme controller. But weeks later, it was being used in an Olympics bid by the city's mayor. I see that the New Look TV studio features a bookcase behind every person being interviewed over a mobile phone. I find the bookcase much more interesting than the person being interviewed. It would be nice if you could spot the odd book that should not be there. I think there could be other camera shots, maybe from one side of a dinner table to the other with cutlery and plates in view. I could do this with the arch to the kitchen behind me. What about at the bottom of the stairs? A bit Kermity? Or sat on the carsey like they do on Channel 5? We moved our bookcase to the landing many years ago, as we don't read books very much now, and those we've read, well, we've read them. We now read online, and reference info we get online as well. I tried to throw the books out a few years ago, but the wife wouldn't let me. I think the bookcase would look better with ornament type stuff on it. Possibly TV or radio show for the future. The books are my bookcase.
This is the Mike Kelly podcast.
And our website of the week is the culturevulture.co.uk. Give it a whirl. If you want to get in touch with this top-rated, much-listened-to podcast, please contact email hello@MikeDJKelly.co.uk or on Twitter @MikeKellyDisco. Indeed, if you want a podcast making for your business or need any help with radio producer or presentation work, please get in touch. You can always find the Mike DJ Kelly podcast by going to iTunes or Spotify and searching Mike DJ Kelly, or you could fill your lockdown time by sending a text to your friends telling them about the Shorter Than Short podcast show. Quotes and cuts from this show may be used, but remember all material has been got from somewhere and somebody has put some effort in to get it to you. Please credit us.
This is the Shorter Than Short Mike Kelly podcast.
And the late news, well done to NH Cash Generator, 99-year-old Captain Tom Moore, who is walking and raising millions for the NHS. Some advertising sites are showing the NHS logo in reverse with the words "Stay home now." Government ministers are boycotting Channel 4 News, so let's all watch Channel 4 News. Sam Smith's Brewery is now using horse and carts to make door-to-door beer deliveries. Emmerdale is now sponsored by the Postcode Lottery. There is one MP who's turned down his 10k work-from-home allowance. That's Jeremy Corbyn. Final thought, do as I say or do as I do. Okay, it's time to go. Guess the celebrity. Born on the 8th of May 1926, a naturalist, screenwriter, actor, biologist, television presenter, journalist, television director, film director, archaeologist, presenter, autobiographer. Who is he? Sir David Attenborough. What song are these lines from? I've no excuse. I just want you to use me. Take me and abuse me. I've got no taboos. I'll make a trade with you. Do anything you want me to. Adventures of Stevie V and Dirty Cash. So pay by card. That's enough for this edition of the crazy Shorter Than Short Shabby podcast show. From me, Mike Kelly, thank you for listening. Please take care out there. And remember, you can always find the podcast by searching or shouting Mike DJ Kelly Podcast.
It's new for 2020.
This is the Mike DJ Kelly podcast.
Sounding snazzy. This is the Mike Kelly podcast.
Mike Kelly.